Hey you guys, welcome back to Crime Immemorial. In November of 1967, a 19-year-old servicewoman at a Royal Air Force base in Buckinghamshire, England, would be murdered on her way to a babysitting job. This is the tragic, unsolved case of Rita Ellis. In the autumn of 1967, 19-year-old WRAF aircraftwoman Rita Ellis was getting ready for a babysitting job on the RAF Halton base in Buckinghamshire, England. Rita was originally from Stevenage, Hertfordshire, and had joined the WRAF the previous April. By the time November rolled around, she was working for the St. Mary's Hospital catering department on the base, though she periodically took babysitting jobs for fellow service members to make some extra cash. On the evening of November 11th, the base was alive with people, as there was a dance going on, as well as a bingo game, both of which were open to the public. Rita had agreed to babysit the child of Wing Commander Roy Watson. Watson told her that he would pick her up in front of her quarters in the female block at a little before 8 p.m., specifically adding that she should not be late. Roy Watson arrived at Block A in his large white car at about 7:40 p.m., but Rita was nowhere to be seen. Irritated, Watson waited for 10 minutes, then drove back to retrieve his wife, since men were not allowed to enter the female block. Mrs. Watson searched the women's quarters, but saw no sign of Rita. The following morning, a man was walking his dog near an unused railroad track on the far western perimeter of the base, when he spotted the dead body of a young woman partially concealed in the bushes. She was naked from the waist down, had been sexually assaulted and beaten, and had been strangled with her own underwear. The investigation into Rita Ellis's murder was complicated immensely by the presence of so many people on the base who wouldn't normally have been there, but were only in the area due to the two public events taking place that evening. From the outset, police theorized that Rita had been waiting outside of her quarters for Roy Watson to pick her up, just as planned, but that an unknown individual had seen her and stopped his vehicle, at which point Rita got into the car, thinking it belonged to Watson. It was also possible, they speculated, that the perpetrator had been following her movements and knew that she would be waiting there at that specific time. The inquiry quickly ran into a wall, with no viable suspects emerging. Authorities feared that the assailant, whoever he was, might strike again, and on December 28th, it appeared that their concerns were realized. On that evening, an unnamed student nurse from Little Tring, about 3 miles away from the RAF base, was raped, beaten over the head, and left for dead by a man she later described as being in his late 20s, with a thin face and puffy eyes. A month after that, a 15-year-old girl in a nearby town also came forward and reported that she had been attacked by a man fitting the same description. Police investigated a possible link between the three crimes, but still ultimately came up empty. In 2007, Rita Ellis's murder case was reopened, and a DNA profile of her killer was successfully extracted. Using this profile, investigators were able to eliminate more than 200 persons of interest, including a local scrap dealer who had been questioned at the time of the murder. But unfortunately, the profile didn't match that of any other criminal already on file. Authorities issued a new appeal for information in 2020, and in 2021, the TV series The Footsteps of Killers re-examined the case, theorizing that Rita Ellis may have known her killer. Then again, in spring of 2023, it was proposed that Rita may have been a victim of Bible John, the infamous, unidentified serial killer responsible for at least 3 murders between February of 1968 and October of 1969 in Glasgow, Scotland. While authorities and the family of Rita Ellis are still hopeful that the culprit will be found, They fear that he could be in his 80s or 90s by now, or possibly already dead, and therefore unable to face justice. Thank you as always for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, don't forget to check out crimeimmemorial.com, where I post more written content about unsolved murders and the occasional updates on cold cases. I'll see you on the next one.